सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। देवी दुर्गे देवी जननी देवी दुर्गे देवी जननी देवी भुवन मोहिनी देवी भुवन मोहिनी देवी दुर्गे देवी जननी त्रिशूलधारिणी त्रिलोकपालिनी त्रिशूलधारिणी त्रिलोकपालिनी त्रिशूल सकल भुवन पोषिणी सकल भुवन सकल भुवन पोषिणी सकल सिंहवाहिनी सुंदर रूपिणी सिंहवाहिनी सुंदर रूपिणी सर्वमंगलदायिनी सर्वमंगलदायिनी देवी दुर्गे देवी जननी देवी भुवन मोहिनी देवी भुवन मोहिनी Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Humble prostrations to one and all present here. Today's topic of discussion is all about parenting. So it is said that parents' job is like the job of a gardener. So what do the gardener do? He just provides a conducive environment for the plant to grow. Water is given, soil is prepared, manure is provided. The plant is kept where proper sunlight falls. And as the plant grows, what else grows? The weeds grow. So the gardener has to remove those weeds. As the plants grow, there are insects, pests, which will eat away the plant. Then what should the gardener do? Apply insecticides or pesticides. Again here, gardener is not forcing anything upon the plant. Gardener is giving all the freedom for that plant to grow at its own pace. If it is a mango plant, gardener doesn't expect apples from it. If it is a mango plant, he doesn't expect results within 6 months. Mango must appear. No. Let it take its own time. I am ready to wait. There is no hurry. I create a conducive environment for the plant to grow. If this gardening is understood, then you have understood all the necessary details to become a perfect parent. So what should a parent do? Just create a healthy environment for the children to grow. That's all what is necessary. A virtuous, divine environment has to be created for the children to grow. That should be the right kind of environment created in our homes. So how do we create that conducive, divine environment? Many times we think that environment is all about comforts, conveniences, luxuries, AC room, sofa. Good. Comforts and conveniences, fine. That also define the environment of a home. But more important than that, what is important is what happens in that environment. What kind of words are exchanged in that environment? What kind of discussions happen in that environment? What kind of decision making happens in that environment? How life is lived in that environment? These are all the important issues That we have to keep in mind when we are concerned about the welfare of our child. The house may not have much comforts and conveniences, but these factors, they play a very important role in deciding the personality traits of our children. So let us discuss one by one. The first one is the speech. What kind of words are spoken by us in this environment? So in Bhagavad Gita there is a verse which talks about austerity of speech. How we must speak. There is a verse. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. So, 4 important points we have to keep in mind when we speak. What are they? Number 1, anudvegakaram. Number 2, satyam. Number 3, priyam. And number 4, hitam. This is called as Vangmaya tapas, austerity at the speech level. Anudvegakaram, words must be spoken which are non-agitating, non-hurting. Satyam, words that are truthful alone must be spoken. Priyam, words that are sweet. Hitam, words that are beneficial. This is the way we must speak. What happens when we speak otherwise? What happens is, so what are the different ways of speaking? Just opposite of anudvegakaram. Udvegakaram, agitating words, hurting words, taunting words, ridiculing words. Opposite of satyam, untruthful words, speaking lies. Then hitam, non-beneficial words. When we speak words of this nature, talking unwantedly, all useless things are spoken. Unimportant things are spoken. Abusive words are spoken. Yes. Then what happens is, the listener loses respect for the speaker. You see, many times we give advice to our children thinking that they will take it seriously. But the fact is, more than the advice given by the parents, what is also important is, what is the attitude of children towards those parents? Who is giving me this advice? This is very important. Accordingly, I take the advice lightly or seriously. If the person who is giving advice, if a person is someone whom I don't respect, whom I don't value, such a person, how much ever precious that advice may be, I will never take it seriously. This is a psychological truth. So if my words are hurting words, non-beneficial words, uselessly spoken, carelessly spoken, then what I am doing is, I am losing my respect in the eyes of my own children. And once I have lost respect, then my children will never take me seriously. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse. This Puja Gurudev used to take it as parenting verse. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattat eva itaraha janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokaha tat anuvartate. I follow my role models. Whatever my role model does, the same thing I imitate. I blindly imitate. This is human psychology. Whomever I consider as a role model, I blindly imitate that person. Every one of us in this world. This is a human psychology. So now, when the child is born, as far as a newborn baby, who is a role model? It is always mother, then father. Always. By default, the world is designed in such a way that when a child is born, for that child, the role models are father and mother. Because the child is completely dependent on mother and father. So therefore, by default, by birth, father and mother become the role model for the children. But as the child grows, what grows along with it? The intellect also grows. The child is able to think. So in the initial years, the child will blindly follow whatever you say, not even questioning anything. But once these children reach what is called as teenage, that is when the problems start. They start misbehaving, disobeying, talking back. All problems start there. Then we wonder what is happening. You see, till then, by default, our children will consider us as a role model. But once they are able to think, then after that, they will start comparing you with others in the world. Because by then, they have certain standards of what is right and what is wrong. And based on those standards, you will be judged, you will be rated. After that, continuing to be a role model in the eyes of my teenage children is a challenge. Because then, everything will depend upon how you behave. Everything will depend upon how you handle situations in life. How you make decisions in life. Your own disciplines in life. So many factors. Because our children are watching us. So, this is where the importance of creating a conducive environment comes into picture. So the first point is the speech. How do we speak? When we speak cautiously, consciously, thinking well, truthful words, beneficial words, non-hurting words. Remember, for all these things, what is necessary? A great control over the mind is necessary. Mind will have all kinds of thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts. Not every thought can be voiced out. You have to do a filter there. There are certain thoughts you are not supposed to speak. So therefore, there has to be a filter. Out of that filter, only the words which are truthful, beneficial, non-hurting. You have to choose words. You see how alert you have to be. Parenting is all about alert living, conscious living. Don't think parenting is very easy. Just feed the children, give a lot of money, meet all the physical needs, that is parenting. No. It's a big, big responsibility. It's not easy. So first one, we are talking about the speech. If you carelessly talk in front of your children, words which are hurting, careless, sometimes shouting, yelling, telling lies also, misbehaving, abusing, very soon you will find your children will have no respect for you. And once they have no respect for you, they will not listen to you. How much my child obeys me depends on how much my child respects me. And if the child has to respect me, my behavior should be respect worthy. There are no accidents in this world. If my child is not respecting me, don't blame the child. I have to blame myself. Somewhere I am sending some wrong signals. Maybe I am not even aware of it. So number one, speech. Number two, general discipline. How disciplined is my life? So this is the human psychology. Whenever I see a disciplined person, I tend to respect that person. An indisciplined person, I lose all respect. Whoever that person may be. That person may be my father, my mother, my teacher, or even a Swami also. Wherever there is indiscipline, there is no respect. It's a human psychology. See, whatever I am talking of is pure psychology, nothing else. So in front of my children, if I am indisciplined, mobile ringing is an indication of indiscipline. Silently you are saying how careless you are. Okay. Coming back. So disciplined way of living. So what all factors come in that? Your eating habits. What do you eat? How much do you eat? How often do you eat? Somewhere it talks about your discipline. Speech, we have already spoken. Then, how do you spend your time in life, in a day? Nowadays, addiction to internet, addiction to all this television, they are all can be an indication of indiscipline. Remember, your child is watching everything. What are you doing? How are you spending time? So, eating habits, talking habits, TV, internet, etc. So, this way there can be so many things. Discipline at the sense organ level, at the mind level. The more and more you are disciplined in front of your child, you will find that your child will have automatically a respect for you. It is called as commanding respect. You don't demand, you automatically command. The next topic is how you make decisions in life. Many times situations come. All kinds of situations come. And all family members are together. There is a situation and there is a discussion among family members. How to handle this situation. Now the question is, how do you handle that situation? What kind of decisions you make while handling that situation? If the decisions are made selfishly, sacrificing the welfare of the totality for the benefit of the individuality. If this is the way decisions are made, know for sure your child will have no respect for you. It is a psychology. When my life is a selfish way of life, self-centered way of life, egocentric life, my own children will have no love for me. On the other hand, if my decisions are for the welfare of all, there is selflessness, there is sacrifice, then you will find that your child will have tremendous amount of respect for you. Because wherever there is selflessness, there is sacrifice. And anyone who sacrifices, that person commands respect from others. That is called in Bhagavad Gita as Yajna Bhava. Yajna means the attitude of sacrifice. Wherever I go, I always think, what can I give? How can I contribute? Not what can I get? How can I exploit? No. If this is your tendency, how can I get? What can I get? How much can I get? How can I exploit the goodness of others? If this is your attitude, you will find that your child can never have respect for you. So the decision making in life. Are you making decision because, are you doing something because it is right, or are you doing something because you like doing it? There is another aspect in decision making. If my decisions are based on my likes and dislikes, my child will have no respect for me. But if my decisions are based on what is right and what is wrong, whatever is right, I will do it, even though I may not like it. Whatever is wrong, I will not do it, even though I may love doing it. If this is the way, you will find your child will have tremendous amount of respect for you. You see? So what all we have discussed? Speech, discipline in life, decision making, correct? Handling various situations. And now, another factor is what kind of discussions happen in that home environment. If the discussion is all about finding fault with others, if the discussion is about, hatred, you see, many times this happens. If the discussion is all about, I have been a very good person, but others exploited my goodness. Self-pity. Whatever is happening in this world is not right. All bad things are happening. And we are living in a bad world. If this is the way the discussion happens, again I tell you, your children will have no respect for you. What is the content of discussion? But suppose every discussion becomes almost like a satsang, where the end of discussion is only good people enjoy life, bad people suffer in this life. Therefore, every one of us, we must think good, speak good, and do good. If this is the way the discussions conclude, if the discussion concludes with not you, okay. Now the thing is, many times we have modern gadgets, but we don't know how to handle it. This is called as indiscipline, you see. My own instruments, I don't have any control.
Can we just take 5 seconds?
It is not the mobile, it's sometimes the watch and all that which is ring. So many times they have no control. It's okay, no problem. Let us not get distracted by all this. Right. So I was talking about what kind of discussions happen at home. And and in what direction the discussions go. What is the final conclusion of those discussions? If the final conclusion is, why do good people suffer? All good people suffer. Bad people enjoy life. If this is the way the discussion is going, know for sure your children will have no respect for you. Every discussion has to be a value-based discussion. Finally, the discussion must culminate in humility, gratitude, devotion for God, importance of cultivating all virtues, giving up all vices. If this is the way the discussions happen, you will find that your children will love you. Your children will have tremendous amount of respect for you. Do you agree with me? You have to be careful of everything. Your personal discipline, the way you speak, the way things are handled, the way situations are handled, the way discussions are given an auspicious turn. Don't allow any discussions to happen. If at all a discussion has happened, it is your duty to ensure that, like the captain of the ship, the discussions are turned towards auspiciousness. If this way you can create a divine atmosphere in your home, you will find that that is a right way for the child to grow. That's the right environment you create for the child to grow. Now, another aspect I will discuss here. What is the biggest mistake we do as parents? The biggest mistake is what is called as unhealthy attachment. What is unhealthy attachment? I become so attached to my son or daughter. Remember, whenever the attachment becomes unhealthy, I become weak. I become helpless. I become a slave of the one to whom I am attached. Generally, this happens. Unhealthy attachment. So what happens when there is unhealthy attachment with my child? You will find that you lose control over yourself. Wherever there is unhealthy attachment, I want to superimpose my likes and dislikes, enforce my likes and dislikes upon my beloved. This happens. There is something which I value, I want my beloved also to value that. There is something which I like, I want my beloved also to like that. Now this will create a lot of tension in relationship. Guaranteed. So this unhealthy attachment creates a suffocation in the mind of my child. Because my child has his or her own likes and dislikes, his or her own rights and wrongs, preferences, inclinations, desires. But now what I do? I said, no, not that. What I like you have to do. So what am I doing? I am making that person suffocate. In the name of love, I am taking away the freedom of that person. Many times we hear this. Father says, I could not become a doctor in my life. I want my son to become a doctor. My, unfulfilled desire, my son should fulfill. And that son has absolutely no interest in medicine. Now what is happening? Suffocation is happening. So then what happens? A time comes when the son doesn't want to even see father, because that relationship has become sour. These are all the mistakes we do in the name of love. But actually, what is it? Unhealthy attachment. Many times I use this relationship with my son or daughter as my own ego satisfaction also. Because there is so much of attachment. My son's victory is my victory. My son's loss is my loss. Son or daughter, anything. And now I start comparing my son with neighbor's son or the relative's son. Let us say in studies my son is a donkey and my relative's son is a horse. Now donkey can never match with horse, but I expect my son to run like a horse. Now who is tensed? I am son. Relationship, know for sure that your relationship, you are going to spoil the relationship. He is running so fast, why are you running slow? I am giving you food, I am providing everything for you. All comforts, convenience, so much of money is spent, tuition, this, that, etc. Why can't you run like him? Remember the gardener thing? Expecting apple from a mango tree. This is the way we spoil. So this unhealthy attachment is the greatest spoiler. And you know what happens? Wherever there is intense attachment, there will be an equal proportion of intense anger also. Attachment and anger, they always go together. When I see that my child is not listening to me, not giving importance to my advice, what happens to that attachment? That attachment turns into anger, turns into frustration, turns into bitterness. And when anger comes, what happens? Bhagavad Gita gives that ladder of fall. Kamat krodho vijayate, krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinasha. Ladder of fall. Buddhinashat pranashyati. So in that frustration, in that irritation, in that anger, I shout at my son, my daughter. Use all bad words. And again when this happens, slowly the relationship is gone. And a time comes when my own son, my own daughter can't even stand me. All because of what? Unhealthy attachment. If you are getting irritated in the presence of your son or daughter and you feel like shouting, know for sure that that attachment is unhealthy. And out of disturbance, you can create only disturbance. The words will be disturbing, actions will be disturbing, relationship will get disturbed. So this is the biggest mistake we do because of our unhealthy attachment. Now the question is, where did this unhealthy attachment come from? This unhealthy attachment has come from a very big mistake we all make. And that mistake is being ungrateful to God. This is where it starts. Swamiji, how can you say that? I am ungrateful to God. You see, when the child is in the womb, who takes care of the child? It is the Lord alone who takes care of the child. Yes or no? Actually, the mother doesn't even know what is happening in the womb. She eats, sleeps, that's all. But it is the Lord who is taking care of the child in the womb. And when the right time comes, it is the Lord alone who becomes Prasuti Vayu and then makes the child exit from the womb. Again, when the child comes out, mysteriously the breast of the mother is filled with milk. Mother doesn't know anything. What is happening in her own body? You see, that food is produced because the child does not have the capacity to digest any other food available in this planet. A special food is prepared. Who does it? Again, the Lord does it. So in the womb, baby is taken care by the child. Baby is taken care by the Lord. Outside the womb, again the Lord is taking care of them. Now when the baby comes, mother's heart becomes filled with divine love for the child. I will call it divine love because that love is absolutely unconditional and absolutely infinite. That's why I have to use the term divine love. And what is the expression of that love? Mother is ready to sacrifice everything for her baby. She is ready to sacrifice her routine, her eating habits, sleeping habits. Because this child, to take care of this child is literally a Herculean job. The fellow cries now and then. In the middle of the night also the fellow cries. The fellow becomes dirty and filthy in the middle of the night also. 24/7 you have to be behind this baby. It is not an easy task to take care of this baby. In fact, it is an impossible task. But then, what does Bhagavan do? He fills the heart of that mother with infinite love. Wherever love is, all the efforts become very easy. Any amount of hard work we are ready to do when there is love. Because there is so much of effort, Bhagavan fills the heart of that mother with infinite love. Not only for human beings. You see this in animals. You see this in birds. Where did that love come from? You don't know. It just comes. So you see, that love is also actually love given by the Lord. So that Lord is empowering that mother to fulfill her motherly responsibilities. So in the womb, he was taking care. Outside the womb, he is taking care. Whatever is necessary, he is providing. And when this mother sees the child, what does she say? My child. My love. My sacrifice. Everywhere there is only I and mine. Ahankara, mamakara. Everything was done by the Lord. Who is taking the credit? Mother is taking all the credit. Isn't it a great sin? Isn't it the highest expression of ingratitude? For this sin which you have done, there must be a punishment. And what is that punishment? Unhealthy attachment to one's own baby is the punishment. You will find that your baby becomes the greatest source of all your tears. The very same child with whom I am attached to, that very same child brings gallons of tears throughout my life. Where is the mistake? The mistake is this. The cause of unhealthy attachment is ingratitude. Then what is the right way? The right way is this. So this is the Karma Yoga way of parenting. What is the Karma Yoga way? Bhagavan, this child belongs to you. In the womb also you took care of this child. When the child came out, you are the one who has empowered us to fulfill our parental duties towards our child. I am merely an instrument. This baby belongs to you. It is your child. I am only an instrument. The child has only come through me, but actually the child belongs to you. In this way, when I become an instrument in the hands of the Lord, expressing my gratitude towards the Lord for fulfilling my parental responsibilities, what happens? I am expressing gratitude towards my Creator. Mysteriously you will find your creation start expressing gratitude towards you. It's karma theory. When I express gratitude towards my Creator, my creation starts expressing gratitude towards me. What is my relationship with God? Same becomes my relationship with my child. Isn't it? The more and more I remember Him, the more and more I am humble and grateful towards Him, you will find that that divine knowledge is able to guide you in fulfilling your parental responsibilities. Intuitively you will come to know what my child needs. Whether it is a physical need, the emotional need, intellectual need or spiritual need, you step aside from divine loving His child. But the ego in me will not allow that. I become an obstruction. That divine flow is obstructed because of my ego. I say, it is my child. You are finished. So unhealthy attachment is the cause of all problems. So what is the solution? Healthy detachment is the solution. What is healthy detachment? This child belongs to God. I am only an instrument in raising His child. Then this is called as healthy detachment. Then you are never imprisoned by this relationship. Remember, whenever attachment becomes unhealthy, your intellect gets paralyzed. Any relationship, whenever it becomes unhealthy, intense attachment, your intellect is paralyzed. That intellect is not able to take right decisions. What is right, what is wrong, it is not able to think. This is the problem with unhealthy attachment. And that is why you become completely helpless in front of your beloved. That helplessness comes because of slavery. And that slavery is because of this attachment. Please keep in mind, we are not against love. Swamiji, does it mean that I should not love my child? No. Your attachment is only a healthy attachment. What is healthy attachment? You are with your child. You love the child. You take care of the child. But at the same time, you don't forget the reality. You are in touch with the reality that this child actually belongs to the Lord. So my job as a parent is only this: turning the attention of my child towards his real parent, Bhagavan. If I have succeeded in inculcating devotion to the Lord in the heart of my child, I have succeeded as a parent. This is the greatest responsibility. Turning the attention of my child to his real creator, not worldly creator. And to the extent I direct my attention towards God, to that extent you will find that my relationship with my child improves remarkably. You see? So, these are some of the tips regarding parenting. One or two things also I can just add. Always teach your child how to be grateful and humble. These are the two very, very important values. In the modern times, what we see is we think pampering our child is parenting. Whatever the child asks, give. Then you are a very good mother, very good father. No. Teach the child how to be grateful for whatever it has and remain non-complaining for whatever it has not. It is very, very important. There are so many things which you have given to the child. Teach the child also to be grateful. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever you give, the child is not grateful. It is constantly complaining about what it has not. This is a very common tendency of the mind. You have to be very careful with this. Every birthday you are giving some gift. The child is expecting a bigger gift next year. You give something bigger, the child is again expecting some bigger gift next year. So what is happening now? There is no gratitude, there is only expectation. But instead, take the child to an orphanage and let the child feed all those children who don't have fathers, mothers, poor children. Then the child will know, yes, I am so grateful I have parents. I am so fortunate that I have education. I am so fortunate that I have food in front of me. If you can train your child in gratitude, that will be a great value. One more tip. Both disciplining and pampering, both are necessary. If it is mere pampering, the child will have no value for you. The child will be a spoiled child. If it is only pampering. If there is only strictness and discipline, then the relationship becomes dry. Both are necessary. And that is why sometimes they give the example of a potter making the pot. So two hands are used. One hand is the shaping hand, the other hand is the supporting hand. One hand is the beating hand, the other hand is a supporting hand. Both the hands are necessary, only then the pot is formed. And that is why we are given two entities when we grow up as a child. One father principle, mother principle. Mother principle is generally pampering principle, loving principle, tender principle, compassionate, sweet, soft, that is necessary. But then a father principle is also necessary. What is father principle? In those days, very strict, just, disciplined. The child dare not even talk to father. If the child has to ask something first, he goes to mother. You see, that distance is maintained. Both the factors are necessary. Only then the child will grow. Sometimes it is called the sun principle and the moon principle. Sun is scorching, brilliant. Moon is cooling. Both are necessary. Vajradapi kathorani mruduni kusumanyapi. Sometimes you have to be hard like diamond, unyielding when it comes to compromising with the values. You have to be very strict. But there are times when you have to be tender, forgiving, loving, kind, soft, like a flower petal. Both are necessary. Only then a relationship grows in a healthy way. There are times when you have to be strict, and there are times when you have to be soft. When to become strict, when to become soft, you tune to the Lord, the rest everything will happen. You tune to the real parent, that real parent will guide you. The divine parent will guide you how to fulfill your duties as a worldly parent. So then what will happen? On one side, your relationship with your child also beautifully unfolds. On the other side, your relationship with God also beautifully unfolds. You see? Parenting experience is very, very important in developing our relationship with the divine, because the relationship is the same. How to raise the child? As a father, as a mother, when I start knowing it, I know what my divine father, divine mother is expecting from me. So then what happens is, on one side you are beautifully fulfilling your duties as a parent, as a father, mother in the world. On the other side, that fulfillment of duty itself becomes a great learning lesson in knowing the nature of the divine and helping me develop a healthy relationship with the divine. So it is a win-win situation. The child is benefited, you are benefited. Material responsibilities are fulfilled beautifully. At the same time, you evolve spiritually. So to conclude, if you want to have wonderful children, what you should do? Create a divine environment. How do you create a divine environment? By living a life divine. So who has to change? I have to change. Now we can have some questions. Mike will come to you.
Today we have one.
You have to just stand up, that's all. There.
So, yeah, this is like, maybe Discourses I would have done before I was a mom, it would have been very helpful, but now it's like, I'm already having teenagers. And there's some mistakes I did, especially with the speech and things like that. So how can we correct them now? I mean, the discipline and speech, things like that. So how can we correct on things that we've already, practiced it in a different way? So how do we correct those?
See, the more and more you live a spiritual life, you will be transforming your personality. And when your personality is transformed, others cannot but notice it. So it is never too late. When you start practicing this, whatever the spiritual practices we do, it will bring a change. And your own children will say, oh, mother was never like this. I don't know what happened. She's very different. How she used to handle situations earlier and now how she is handling. So much of difference. Then you become an inspiration. Then they ask you, what happened? What is that which made you? Then you say, this is what has happened. Then you are inspiring them also to walk the path of spirituality.
Swami, one of the things that's encouraged is to, over a period of time, be friends with your children. Now, how do you generally transition, and then as you become friendly with your children, how do you still maintain the respect both ways?
Yes.
How do you maintain that balance?
See, as your children grow, they will start questioning everything. Especially when they become teenagers, they will start questioning. Earlier they would just obey whatever you say. But a time comes when they say, why should I do this? So when they start questioning, never say, I never asked my parents, so you have to just obey me. Don't do that mistake. Never do that mistake. In fact, whenever such question come, it is your responsibility to answer all those questions in a convincing way, logical way, rational way. A time must come when your son or daughter should say, now I understand. Yes. If this way you can take every discussion. Remember, never enter into argument. What is the difference between argument and discussion? In argument, you argue to win. In discussion, you discuss to know. So when knowledge is given importance, then that is called as discussion. So in discussion, suppose you come to know that, I was wrong. You immediately admit, yes, my dear son, what you said is right. I was wrong. Thank you very much for correcting. So this attitude is a healthy discussion attitude. Always your discussion with your children should be healthy. So always the importance should be given to knowledge. There are many times when we come to know that we are wrong. Because nowadays children are really brilliant. They know much more than us. So if suppose they have unfolded one unseen dimension, and I am convinced that yes, what he is telling is right and what I was telling is wrong, immediately I must admit. So when he sees that, then he will always have an open-mindedness whenever the discussion comes. Never enter into argument. Argument means what? I know that I am wrong, still I am trying to win the argument because my ego doesn't want to lose the battle. Keep the ego aside. When discussions happen in such a healthy way, with an open-minded attitude, you will find that your relationship with your children will improve drastically. Did I answer?
You explained very beautifully that as parents, our role is to nurture the kid and as a plant and remove all the insects or pests, right? Sometimes we see our kid in bad company. We realize it, but sometimes they are at an age where they start to identify themselves with their friends and peers and not see the bad qualities or bad influence they have on our kid. And it's hard to explain them that situation. So how would you advise to handle those situations?
See, Amma, when you have a health issue, where do you go? Will you go? When you have a health, keep the mic with you.
Okay.
When you have a health issue, where do you go? You go to a plumber, electrician, or a doctor? You could have gone to a plumber. Or you could have done some self-medication. You go to a professional, isn't it? Why do you think that in spiritual things you don't need a professional? Many times we try to solve the problem ourselves and we don't know anything about scriptures. We have not studied any scriptures. Our knowledge is limited, and with that limited knowledge we try to handle the situation. You will mess up the situation. Once you know that I am not able to handle this particular thing, you will have to go to a professional. Professional means what? Where such kind of discussions happen. For example, in Chinmaya Mission, so many study groups happen. There are so many senior devotees there. So we don't go to such spiritual institutions and we want to, try to find a solution. You won't get. What I'm trying to say is for everything, a professional is needed. Everything. Somebody who has dedicated their life in that field, that is called as professional. Gone deep, lot of experience. Such a person can easily handle the situation. For example, anyway, in this case I will tell you. My child is in the bad company. Learns a lot of abusive words and comes home. If you have a divine environment in the home, that child dare not speak a bad word. Because there is so much of discipline. From India, we throw plastic here and there. But the moment the very same Indians, when they come to this country, they're very disciplined. They will search for those, what do you call that? Trash bags. Why? When you see everybody disciplined, automatically that discipline is inculcated in you. This is what happens with satsang. When that indisciplined person comes in the company of disciplined person, that company has a power to transform you. So therefore we must expose our children to such satsangs. Every Saturday, Sunday we have in Chinmaya Mission the classes for Balivir. I'm sure you might be knowing it. Expose children to such a divine atmosphere. There will be tremendous change.
Thank you.
Right.
Hi, I have very small kids, and then, like you said, it's unhealthy attachment towards them. They are so much dependent on me. So, like you said, how do I initiate the process of saying that these kids are not mine, they belong to God? How do I initiate the process, and how do I transition it from where to should I begin it?
See, whenever you experience an intense surge of love for your children, observe that love and say that this love which I am experiencing is coming from Him. It is not mine. I did not generate it, it is just there. So learn to see how much that Lord is loving kids in the same way that Lord loves me also. This is the way you have to say. You understand? Every time you are taking a decision, there is a concern, there is love, there is a lot of hard work in raising the children. Everywhere you try to see the hidden hand of God. You are doing it, but you know that somebody else is doing it through you. Now and then, try to shift the attention to that unseen doer, the unseen lover. You have to go on practicing it. And slowly a time comes when at the back of the mind you know that there is somebody who is doing everything. You never lose sight of that Supreme Lord. This has to be practiced. The natural tendency will be, I am doing it. Never get into the trap. There is somebody else doing it through me. Yes.
You didn't say much about the grandparenting. So, in this country, it's kind of both parents working, so grandparents are expected to kind of help out with babysitting or taking them.
There is a mic there.
To helping with the child rearing, and some of that it's the grandparents are in the vanaprastha stage, and so they're supposed to be spending more time in their spiritual evolution. So, what's your comments on how should that be done?
Grandparenting is generally grand pampering. You see, you can convert the time you spend with grandchildren as satsang. There are so many wonderful stories in Bhagavatam. The story of Dhruva, the story of Prahlada. So many wonderful stories are there. Why don't you tell these stories to these children, the American children who have no idea about what it is? The stories of Rama, Ravana, Hanuman. Such wonderful stories are there. So on one way, you will be doing your sadhana, study of the scriptures. On the other way, the child is also benefited. And that tender age exposes them to everything good, divine, which otherwise they will never be exposed to. So that will be a wonderful grandparenting. Yes.
When you were talking about grandparents, I just wanted to recollect and pay my tribute to my mother-in-law, who has groomed my kid like a gem. So my question now is, she is now 80. I have given her on 90% of what we discussed now as the freedom, and also I wish to add 2 more points if I can. Like a child will always watch what kind of relations the parents have with the outside world. How they interact with their friends, what kind of friends they have, how they are valuing the relations, relatives, all those things is something which they watch, and they will ask a lot of questions as to they behave like that, then why are you behaving like this? So all those questions will come. Another thing which I think we experienced is sharing of feelings. Like when I say that, Lakshmi, what you told hurt me, then I am opening the window for her to tell that, Amma, you should not have told like that. So that also helped me connect with my kid, his feelings very easily. And she was willing to share what she felt. So these 2 things I wish to add. And the question now is, now she is moving out. Even though I was giving her freedom, she was under my watch. Now she is moving away. And so that is giving me some kind of anxiety as to how she will handle. Even though I know she will and reach out to me for guidance, I am actually pulled in by some kind of anxiety and what do you say, how will it will be after this Monday.
That anxiety is natural. You leave it to God. Pray for her. What else can you do? And please always keep this in mind. Allow the child to commit mistakes. Don't say that I have preached, now you should not commit any mistake. Arey, how did you grow? Unless we fall, we don't learn to walk, isn't it? Every child has to fall again and again, time and again, and finally a time comes when we are able to walk. In the same way, there will be times when our children will fall. You must have a compassionate attitude. Even when the child falls, your lap should always be there. Hey, it's okay. That's how we all grow. Committing mistake is a way to grow. In these ways, you should make her feel that, oh, the mistake is not big. So this way, then there is nothing to. Always be prepared. Our children are going to fail somewhere or the other. They are going to fall. They are going to suffer. Be prepared. Don't say that my child should not suffer. My child should not fail. Everywhere success should be there. No, that is not going to happen. There are certain lessons we learn in life only through suffering, only through failing. So, yes. Never forget that a divine mother is taking care of your child. You are just a worldly mother. That divine mother created you, the worldly mother. The in charge is somebody else.
Hari Om Swamiji, thank you for the satsang. My question is around, you had mentioned in the satsang that the donkey versus the horse. And my question is around how to motivate children to be maybe the best donkey that they can be, or the best horse. I'm looking for suggestions to motivate the child.
Never compare the child with others. Number one. Number two, you should say that if you have done your best, you have the right to be happy. You have the right to be peaceful. What is expected of you is, have you done your best? Did you waste your time in all this internet and video games, etc.? No. Very good. Did you study hard? Yes. Whatever you could, have you made use of the time? If you have done all that, then celebrate. Encourage the child. Generally what happens is, if 8 good things are there in my child and 2 bad things are there, my focus is always upon that 2. Why this 2 is not good? Why there is defect? Why you are not perfect? Don't do that. Appreciate the 8 good things. Encourage the child. And then mention about the 2 things, whatever can be done. If you constantly brood over these 2 bad things, relationship will go for a toss. Because there is only bitterness then. So if my child is studying well or whatever, in any field, if the child is doing his best, then tell him that you have all the right to be happy and peaceful. See, he needs only a support. Your encouraging words will do miracles. The whole world will be looking down upon that child because the score is less or whatever. But your words, because you are a role model for him, as father, as mother, your words will have tremendous impact. That's all what we need to do. Have you heard of that story of Edison? So one day, Edison, when he was a small child, he went to the school and the teacher wrote something and said that, give it to your mother. So the mother read that slip. It was written, your son is very unintelligent. We are not able to teach him. Please admit him to some other school. That was what was written. Her eyes became filled with tears. So naturally the son, Edison, asked, Mother, what happened? So then mother said, see, the teacher says you are so bright that we are not able to handle you. You are so bright. So therefore we have to shift you to some other school. Edison believed. And some other school, everything went on. And then later on he became a very famous scientist, all that. So one day when he was cleaning his cupboard, he found this slip. And then he found this, what was written. And it is said he cried for hours together. He said, whatever I have achieved, it is because of my mother. So even if the whole world is laughing at your child, if you know that, yes, my child has done truly good, your job is only to encourage. That's all. How does it matter whether my child is a tortoise, donkey or a horse? Yes, Amma. There. Huh.
My question is, what would be the best practice for both the parents to be on the same page to implement these parenting tips, especially in front of the child?
See, your job is be a best version of mother. Don't try to change the father. That person is here? Okay. See, let us assume that father is a good-for-nothing fellow. Let us assume. The child knows that here is a mother. You see, when you start practicing all these values, helplessly the child gets attracted towards you. Don't say that just because, you are a father or mother. No, the child is rating you based on how you handle situations, how you are responding to situations, your behavior, your discipline, everything. And automatically they start either loving the mother or father, depending upon who is practicing these values. Because these are all pure psychology. Anyone who is practicing value, you will find that children automatically gravitate towards them. Why? Because they find peace there, strength there, solace there, comfort there, inspiration there. Wherever I find all this, I will gravitate towards that person. It can be father or mother. So your job is not to change others. Your job is to change yourself and become a magnet. That's all what is needed. Right. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ